Hi, I'm Joni.
And I'm Kit. We're the co-founders of Practically Perfect.
And today we're going to share a few really quick tips and tricks for how to store art supplies. When we think about storing any kind of art supplies or homework supplies, there are two big things we take into account. So the first one is the physical space. That plays a huge role in what we would suggest in terms of a system and the products. And the other piece is to think about your kids and the ages and stages that we're dealing with.
Yes.
What works for a toddler is very different from what works for an adolescent.
Yeah, but I think what we want to focus mostly on is how to make it easy for you and your kids to tidy up and put their items away when they're done using them. The idea is to make it as streamlined and fun and pretty as possible.
That's right.
All right, so let's jump in. On our spin tray here, it's a very basic spin tray, Lazy Susan turntable. We happen to really love these ones. A little heavier, a little more stable on an art table. It's made out of marble. We will include links below for this item and all the other variety of spin trays that we use. There's acrylic, there's bamboo, stainless steel, everything. And then, so this just sits on the tabletop, and on top you can just pick some sort of acrylic. Well, these are acrylic cups. They're actually from the bathroom section. They're toothbrush holders. But what's nice is that they're a little weighted on the bottom, and they have a smaller opening on the top, which makes it nice to grab the markers.
I love the sound that makes. Having an ASMR moment.
You can use any cup that you like that fits the design and decor and style of your house. You can just place the cups on the spin tray, and voila. Now, this doesn't just have to be markers. You could put pencils, colored pencils, crayons, scissors, anything.
Absolutely.
I think it's beautiful. I think it's super functional, but not functional for everybody. So Joni, what kind of kid is the one who's gonna like this system?
You want me to put my early childhood development hat on?
Please.
It's on. Toddlers love to dump things. So unless you want to make a fun game with your toddler out of something like this, which I'm sure they would quite enjoy, I would maybe steer you away from a solution where there are a lot of different parts and pieces that could get moved and dumped and taken into the bathtub or into the backyard to collect dirt. I would say something like a divided caddy or a turntable with divided sections, something that's one piece that the markers go into, as opposed to a lot of different little parts. And for those kids for whom that does not spark joy, just a container. And I think the older your kids are, the more variety of colors and shades of colors you can have, and the younger they are, less is so much more. So that's a possibility.
Yeah. So next,
Paper two ways.
Okay, paper two ways.
Okay. Sometimes it makes the most sense to store paper in a drawer, on a shelf, or on a tabletop. Wherever you're having paper, we want it to be accessible. And one thing that we struggle a lot with is finding a vessel that will hold an entire ream of paper.
Or that doesn't hold an entire ream of paper because of the flop factor.
Yeah,
That's really annoying.
There's a flop factor. And in full transparency, we have stopped the flop here today by adding colored paper to what usually is a magazine file filled with only typing paper. I'm running low. And alas, come on, it's not showing off for us now that we're on camera. But we don't love what happens when there's just a little bit of paper.
Yeah, over time the paper ends up getting curly and bent. So we do like putting paper in a magazine file like this.
You just can't run low like I did today. So a real con of this is that if you don't have it filled with paper, you can get the paper to curl a little bit. That said, when it's filled with paper, this is a really wonderful solution. What we love about these magazine files, I haven't happened to label this one because I do store it this direction so I can see what's inside. But if you're storing them on a shelf and it's paper that you're not using very often or items that you want to hide, you can get a really nice design aesthetic from the spine of this product, and you can label it. We're always a fan of anything that we can label. And if you're storing it this way, you can also label it with a bin label clip, one of our all-time favorite products. So, paper two ways. This is our very favorite. This is in no way made for paper, and it is linked below.
I believe you find it in the closet
It's in the closet section. It's meant for dividing drawers for smaller items.
Yes.
But we have found that it is just the right size to hold paper, an entire ream. I think ream might be the word of the video.
Ream?
Ream.
Ream.
Ream. Okay.
So now we've got our markers, our paper. We could do our scissor setup here.
I do love these scissors. Each one of them cuts paper into a different shape. This is good, clean fun. So if you have crafty kids, I have crafty kids.
You do. You actually really do have crafty
Kids who like to craft. You should see the leprechaun trap that's happening over here right now. It's pretty epic. So my kiddos love having this set of scissors. You know, each one sort of cuts the paper in a different shape. I think this is really good, clean fun for kids.
Twice in one.
I'm all about good, I'm all about clean. So if you have something like this, you could really store anything in it. So over time, I think if your kiddos outgrew these scissors and they moved on, I think you could really put a lot of cool implements into here.
Like what?
Cooking utensils.
Really?
Try me again. Markers, highlighters, makeup brushes.
Ooh, I do like that one.
I'm gonna keep going. I know,
Do it.
I'm stuck. I'm done. But call me later. Call me later about it. All right. And then when it comes to some of these smaller items, they're often referred to as treasure. In my house, sometimes it's pom-poms and sequins and beads and things.
Googly eyes?
For sure, with the googly eyes. These are things that
Get everywhere.
Yeah. So, big fan of, I have to say, my crafting station, if you will, is not large. And so I am always looking for things that allow me to take advantage of vertical space. So these are really nice little boxes, actually from the kitchen section at the Container Store.
They're very cute.
There's a theme here. We tend to shop outside of departments.
Yes.
So these are from the bathroom section. These are from the kitchen section. This is just a little shop everywhere. Shop everywhere. And by the way, repurpose what you have. Mason jars or old Tupperware. Absolutely use what's around your house before you spend any money or bring any product into your house.
Agreed.
But I did find these and I do like them because they stack really nicely. They're great for holding smaller items, and I also like and appreciate the fact that the lid is pretty sturdy. I feel like, you know, did you ever go to the Dairy Queen growing up and they would put your ice cream upside down? I feel like I'm having a Dairy Queen moment. What I really like about these, in addition to the fact that they're stackable, is that you can see through, so the kids know what's inside. I always feel like that helps a little bit when they're looking for something in particular. You could easily, you know, find and source your yellow punchers. Okay. These were some really, really basic tips. I know that there's so much more to dive into.
Basic but good, like some of our faves.
Some of our favorite tips, but there's a lot more where that came from. I think there are so many more questions that people have around organizing art supplies, whether that be for children or for adults who like to craft. So we will definitely be diving in at a future time.
Thank you so much for joining us. We'd love for you to scroll on down and hit the subscribe button.
Also more product recommendations and organizing tips over on Instagram.
And just organizing.
Just like feelings
Awesomeness.
And like lots of things.
Yes. And remember, if it's practical for you,
it's perfect for you. I literally hate myself. What do you want to hold this?